As the old adage goes, those that can, do, or those that can't, teach. So working along these lines, does that mean that those that can shouldn't teach? You still with us? Applied to football, it suggests that the best players don't make the best managers, but is this really the case? When on the pitch, your performance flows outside of your conscious awareness and is based on instinct. Maybe it's no surprise then that for the great players transitioning to management, a craft that requires forensic levels of attention to detail doesn't come easily. The stereotype, of course, is that great players are frustrated in management by the mere mortal players who are unable to do the things that they could do on the pitch. But put even simpler, managing a team and being a great player require different skill sets. As a manager, the core skills are man management, tactical awareness, and an interest in the mechanics of a football club. They must carry authority and assuredness, deal with directors, fans, and the media with equal skill, but most of all, need to be able to resolve, teach, motivate, and coach 24 hours, 7 days a week. All wildly removed skills from their days as players. It all means that for every Zinedine Zidane, gloriously successful at Real Madrid, you have a Frank De Boer at the opposite end of the spectrum, sacked after a miserly 77 days in charge of Crystal Palace. So to look at the whole great players becoming great managers debate, let's delve into a game where De Boer and Zidane faced off against each other in the 2000-2001 El Clasico, a fixture at the apex of world football, featuring a host of world-class talents, and examine how the players involved got on as managers once they retired. First up, De Boer, a world-class defender with over 100 Dutch caps. He came through the ranks at Ajax, where he stayed for 11 seasons before joining Louis van Gaal's Barcelona. Including his football education, that's a healthy chunk of his career either directly or indirectly influenced by an attacking, attractive, possession-based philosophy. Not an issue when he took over the Ajax senior side in 2010 and went on to win 4 Eredivisie titles, suggesting the transition to management was an easy one, but his style hasn't fared well in unfamiliar surroundings at Inter and Palace. The fact he's only managed half a year or so in his last 2 jobs combined begs the question, do certain successful players become too rigid and set in the ways that brought them success as players when managing? In De Boer's case, it's far too early to write him off as a failure, but it does seem that a certain set of conditions might need to be in place for him to flourish as a manager. Also in the Barca team, De Boer's teammates that day who went into management were Michael Reiziger, Philip Cocu, Patrick Kluivert and Luis Enrique. Of these players, only Cocu and Luis Enrique went on to achieve success with spells at PSV and Barcelona respectively. Cocu went back to PSV where he plied his trade as a player, leading the Dutch team to 2 leagues and a cup in his time there, while Enrique took over at the all-conquering Barcelona side of Messi, Neymar et al. And oversaw 2 La Ligas, 1 Champions League and a whole host of other cup triumphs. Again though, both kept close to their football roots, suggesting that a comfortable habitat is as important to these players moving into managers as much as anything else. From the Real team that season, Roberto Carlos, Zidane, Claude Makelele, Aitor Karanka and Santiago Solari swapped their playing boots for a place in the dugout. Roberto Carlos had moderate success in Turkey, Hierro failed in taking Real Oviedo up to La Liga, Makelele didn't make it at Bastia, while Solari is plying his trade at Real Madrid B, and Karanka had a moderately successful period at Middlesbrough. While Karanka and Solari can't rightly be classed as great players, Roberto Carlos, Makelele and to a lesser extent Hierro would have all been close to best in their positions at their peak. And then you come to Zinedine Zidane, the great Zizou, the man whose transition from Real Madrid player to Real Madrid B manager to Real Madrid manager has been seamless. And the one name whose success instantly could be seen as the answer to the question that great players actually do make great managers. 1 La Liga, 2 Champions Leagues, 2 Super Cups and a Club World Cup suggest that with the right person, at the right club, with the right weapons at his disposal, that it can be done. Although take away Rafa Benitez who came before Zizou and whose 6 months there were instantly forgettable, and the likes of Ancelotti, himself a great player in his day, and Jose Mourinho also had fair success with Real with leagues and cup triumphs too, which doesn't really help with conclusive proof on this matter. So ultimately, there isn't a single magic formula that ends up producing great managers. The myriad of ways you can approach the game, along with the complexities of technical and psychological qualities needed to get the best out of a group of footballers, mean that there can be no one-size-fits-all approach. There does seem to be a pretty well-established trend, however, that for whatever reason, it's the less decorated footballers that eventually turn into all-conquering managers. Yet just when you think you're ready to draw the line under the whole debate, an incredibly gifted player like Pep Guardiola comes along and blows all the theorising in the world out of the water with almost unparalleled managerial success. Who knows, maybe in 15 years we'll be toasting the tactical genius of Wayne Rooney after he masterminds England's first World Cup win since 1966. Got an opinion on what makes a great manager, or why world-class players often struggle with life in the dugout? Be sure to leave your comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Copper 90.